You ever get that feeling, that icy chill down your spine when someone's watching you? That's how it started. Just me, a quiet night, and a guy who wouldn't take no for an answer. He thought he could follow me home and walk right into my building. But when that door slammed in his face, let's just say, he learned the hard way that rules exist for a reason. If you've ever had someone cross your boundaries and thought, man, I wish I could make them regret it, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real stories of karma served cold. Because today, you're about to hear how one woman turned fear into power. I'm 21. I live in a lock-style apartment building. One of those where you need a fob to even get inside. Supposed to make you feel safe, secure. But safety isn't about the locks, it's about the people around you. And for weeks, there was this one tenant. Guy. Probably somewhere between 18 and 20. I never caught his exact age, but he had that kind of half-grown, cocky energy. The kind that makes you feel like you're being tested. Every few days, I'd see him hanging around the front door, pretending to scroll his phone, waiting for someone else to swipe in. He'd always forget his fob. Every single. First, I brushed it off. Maybe he's just forgetful, I told myself. But as days went on, something about him started to feel off. He'd watch people a little too closely, smile a little too long. Then came the night it all boiled over. It was around 10 p.m. I decided to run to the gas station across the street for a drink. Nothing crazy, just craving something cold before bed. As I stepped out of the building, I noticed him again, standing right by the door. Hoodie up, hands stuffed into his pockets, eyes fixed on me. I gave a polite nod, the kind you give to avoid trouble, and kept walking. But you know that feeling when someone's following you. The sound of footsteps just behind yours, echoing every step like a shadow. That's when my heart started pounding. Slowed down. So did he. He sped up. So did he. I tried to tell myself, maybe he's just going to the gas station too. But deep down I knew. He wasn't there for snacks. When I reached the gas station, I ducked inside and tried to shake off the fear. Grabbed a bottle of soda, paid, and lingered for a moment near the counter, hoping he'd get bored and leave. But when I glanced toward the door, he was there, standing outside, watching. I took a deep breath, told myself not to panic. I walked out, head high, eyes forward, pretending not to notice him. We crossed paths just outside the store and he called out, "Hey, you got a smoke?" His voice was casual, almost lazy, like we were old friends or something. I said, "No, I don't," and kept walking. Then I heard his footsteps again, right behind me, following. Every nerve in my body was screaming. I could see my apartment building up ahead, just a block away, glowing faintly under the streetlights. Kept my pace steady. Didn't want to show fear. But when I reached the door, I knew what he was going to do before he even did it. He angled closer, reaching to follow me inside. "Come on," he muttered. "I just forgot my fob." I stopped, turned, and looked him dead in the eyes. His face was calm, too calm. Like he expected me to let him in. Like it was my job. And in that moment something in me snapped. All those times he lingered at the entrance. All those fake smiles. All those moments he made everyone else uncomfortable. No more. I slid my fob across the scanner, the door clicked. And before he could step in behind me, I slammed it shut. The metal echoed. The look on his face. Then anger. Then, that frustrated kind of disbelief people get when they realize their little manipulation just stopped working. He banged the door once with his hand, muttered something under his breath, and stormed off. And me. My heart was racing. My palms were shaking. But for the first time I didn't feel powerless. Felt in control. The next morning I walked down to the lobby. Coffee in hand, headphones in. Just another normal day. Until I heard yelling. It was him. He was at the front desk, red in the face, screaming at the staff about how some girl had refused to let him in the night before. He actually said I was being rude and unhelpful. As if my job was to let him violate every security rule the building had. I stopped right behind him. He didn't even notice me at first. The staff tried to calm him down, explaining the policy again. "You can't enter without your fob, sir." That's when I finally spoke up. Cold. Just loud enough for everyone to hear. "They warned you to remember your fob." He spun around, eyes wide, and I just smiled. Slow, satisfied smile. Then I walked right out the door, leaving him standing there fuming, looking like a fool. Later that day, the staff pulled me aside. They told me I did the right thing, that I wasn't the first person he'd tried this with. Apparently, he'd been warned multiple times. And here's the kicker. They said if he ever tried to follow me again or made me feel unsafe, I was fully within my rights to call security immediately. That reassurance felt like armor. For the first time in weeks, I didn't feel nervous walking through that lobby. I felt vindicated, because some people, they don't understand boundaries until they hit a wall. And in his case, that wall was a locked door. And a woman who finally said no. It wasn't some elaborate scheme or months-long setup, but sometimes the simplest acts of defiance hit the hardest. That slam of the door. That was justice. That smile as he yelled at staff. That was revenge. He thought he could intimidate me. He thought his persistence was power. But when he realized the world wasn't going to bend for him, that's when I saw it. That flash of humiliation in his eyes. And that's when I knew. My silence, my composure, my refusal to be his gatekeeper. That was the real victory. Boundaries exist for a reason. Not just to keep danger out, but to remind people that respect isn't optional. Sometimes standing your ground isn't loud or violent. It's just a quiet no, backed by a locked door and a smile. If this story gave you chills, if you've ever stood your ground against someone who thought they could walk all over you, hit that like button. Tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying moment you've ever had standing up for yourself? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of real-life karma, courage, and sweet, sweet revenge.